Hello everyone, welcome to Red Snapper. My name's MJ and this is Snap or Pass, where we look at the new cards coming to Marvel Snap each week. And this week, this was voted as your most wanted card in the game when I ran a poll about 6 months ago. It's Dormammu. He's a 7-11, not the convenience store. Hey, can I get a Slurpee up in this joint, yo? Yeah, he's a 7-11, game start. Begin a summoning ritual, add step 1 to your hand. We will look at those summoning rituals, there's 3 of them, so we'll look at them in a minute, but if you want to skip to the section you want, you can use the chapters below. True legends stay to the end though, don't they? Right, let's talk a little bit about Dormammu, and actually, before anything, I guess we'll go into our trusty Marvel Encyclopedia. Dormammu. Although a member of the Faultine race, Dormammu has spent most of his life in the dark dimension where his people had banished him. Following his arrival there, Dormammu allied himself with the dark dimension's ruler, Ulnar, showing him how to expand his realm by absorbing other pocket universes into it. There's some other stuff about that there as well, but yeah, I think Clea is his daughter, right? And her spell is Flames of the Faultine. She's next week's card, so that's pretty cool. So yeah, Dormammu. Cool, evil spellcasting person in that. If you want to pick up Dormammu, you can purchase him for 6,000 tokens, or you can risk your luck and open a seasonal Series 5 stat pack, which also contains the new X-Men season cards, including Esme Cookie, the season pass card, and all of the cards thus far this season, which is Morgan Le Fay, the Ancient One, and Nightmare. Also stay tuned to the end of the video, because we'll be discussing Nightmare in our review section. Now, before we crack on with the rest of the information, including those rituals, I'm doing another PAX bundle giveaway. To enter the giveaway, you need to subscribe, you need to like the video, and then comment on the video answering what type of new card border would you love to see added to the game. Just an example, if you head over to our Discord, you might come across Roy Mulligan Rockets, and he shared this awesome absorbing man with the new heavy metal border. So what type of border would you like to see added to the game? I'd be interested to hear your thoughts. Ideally, if you've got a way that I can contact you as well, like an Instagram or, you know, social media handle, that would be good. But yeah, you could win this PAX bundle, which has got like the Penny Arcade border, variant, and card back, and title. So it's pretty cool, guys. Right, without further ado, let's look at the summoning rituals. So we've got all 3. I mean, I'm way too big in this heat, okay? The UK is seeing a heat wave right now. I'm going to be moistening. I can't be visible on screen for this section. Thank you, that's better edited version of me. So let's look at the summoning rituals. The first one, this is the one that will basically get added to your hand at the start of the game. It is a 0 cost skill. On reveal, merge your highest power destroyed card with Dormammu to continue. And then you get the next step added to your hand. The second summoning ritual is a 1 cost skill. On reveal, Dormammu steals 1 power from each card here to continue. So that's obviously the second one, and then you get the final one added to your hand, which is a 3 cost skill. On reveal, destroy 2 of your characters here to summon Dormammu. So that's how you get them out. I think I like to think of these skills or summoning rituals as you kind of got your kind of Phoenix Forcey one. It's going to revive the card that you've destroyed, but it's going to put it into Dormammu, so it's not going to actually like revive it. It's not going to copy its on reveal effect or anything, is it? Sure. Wait, is it? No, I'm sure it won't. Well, I'm not sure, but I don't think it will. And then your second summoning. Sorry, all the numbers are a bit confusing because the first one's 0 cost. The second one is 1 cost. Anyway, the second one is kind of your Laufey ability, isn't it? That is actually the same as Laufey's on reveal ability, pretty much. And then the third summoning ritual, it's kind of your Deathlock. It's destroying 2 cards there, and it doesn't actually bring the power with it, you know, sort of thing. But yeah, kind of that's how I'm roughly going to be thinking about it in my head. I also want to say, before I talk about the mechanics that are on screen now, also, like, massive just shout out to me here and my forward planning. Like, a couple of months ago I was at Thorpe Park, which is one of the UK's leading theme parks. I am a theme park enthusiast. And just randomly, they had some Marvel figurines as prizes in the arcade. So I absolutely banged up their piano keyboard machine, which I'm very good at, to be honest. And yeah, got this Dormammu figurine, so he might pop up at various points during this video for some reason. So the mechanics for Dormammu. The archetypes I think he's going to fit into are Destroy. I think classic Destroy can certainly use him. It's just going to be a slightly different way to play the deck. Revivals, so this is our kind of stuff with the Phoenix Force, which we might have. Maybe like cards like Elixir, finally getting their time in the sun, and Phoenix Force. Destroying cards and being able to bring them back, or benefiting from you destroying cards, very cool indeed. Unfortunately, guys, the reign of Thanos is not over. I do not think it's over. I think Dormammu is kind of absolutely perfect in those Thanos destroy lists. You know, you've so often got some stones in your hand. It's easy to destroy them with so many different types of destroy cards. Then you get your ritual going, and then you're just off to the races there because you're drawing through so much resource with Thanos. Dormammu is giving you extra things to do. I think that's going to be quite strong. I think the skills archetype is going to like Dormammu. I mean, the skills archetype kind of largely being held together by Nicholas Scratch, really. Although I guess the Merlin style with some, creating some additional resource on your board that you can either tuck back into your deck or you can transform. We might see something there. Shield decks, you know, I yell it out. The rituals are obviously skills, and yes, whilst only one of the, sorry, I don't mean skill, well they are skills, but they've been added to your hand, and yes, whilst there is only one which can have its cost reduced by Quinjet because the others are too cheap already, that may still be quite significant, especially as, when we look at the decks later, there might just be some interesting inclusions you can put in that style of deck. And maybe mill decks might like this as well. We've seen the sort of Yondu, Misery stuff. Re-triggering those effects of those cards is already getting you a lot of value out of your opponent. And now you can do similar things and benefit from the Dormammu, basically massive injection of power for, yes, a lot of steps, but not much cost. So, you begin the game and step 1 of the ritual is added to your hand. So this is something which is adding to your hand at the start of the game. To play step 1 of the ritual, you will need to have already destroyed a card. So yes, it is a 0 cost skill, but it isn't something that you'll be able to play on turn 1. It's going to take a little bit of time to get rolling. I mean, you can actually in some instances do it as early as turn 2, but we'll talk about that in a minute. This card is one of the cards to bring together all the recent Revivals cards. So stuff even as far back as like Firehair. I feel like I definitely overrated Firehair at the time. I thought she was going to be broken, in fact, and yeah, she hasn't really worked out all that well. I do think she's a fun card, but she hasn't been super competitive. I think this might be the card which finally brings her into the fold, but along with all these other cards that we've seen recently, including Elixir. And then this is the primary payoff that sub-archetype needed. Previously, you were relying on drawing either like your Morgan Le Fay or your Death. You've almost always kind of needed both of those kinds of cards as well. Well, this is like kind of a third big payoff, and I think now this is going to give that sub-archetype the consistency that it needed. And Ritual 1, just to bear in mind, it needs you to have properly destroyed a card. So yeah, we're not talking about Wolverine or X-23 or Deadpool where they return in another way. You need to have properly destroyed something. So, the pros of the card. Starting the game with additional resource, which does something, albeit it only progresses the summoning of Dormammu, is great. I mean, it only does that unless you've got like a Nicholas Scratch out, and then it's like bonus easy stats. It means you automatically have a potentially winning line. Similar to the Thanos, okay? If you're playing a Thanos deck, you know that you're starting the game with Thanos. You know that you have often a turn 5 play that like can't be destroyed if you've got the other stones. Obviously the other stones all play a sort of role in how strong your Thanos will be, but you know you've got that potential play line there. It's going to be a similar thing with Dormammu. You will get step 1 of the ritual added to your hand. So that play line is there, it is available, and that is going to be significant. The total skills cost is 4, so that's 0 plus 1 plus 3. Dormammu is likely to be 14 power plus. You know, if you think about whichever card you're destroying, right, it's probably going to be a 1 cost. It's often going to have 2 power. That brings Dormammu up to like 13. Then the second skill, the second step of the ritual, that steals power from all the cards there. Even if you're just stealing from one card, That's like 1 power, so that's boom up to 14. So he's basically a 4/14. Yes, there's loads of steps involved, but ultimately he is kind of like a 4/14, and that's at the minimum. If you've destroyed a martyr and you've stolen from 7 cards, Dormammu goes absolutely insane. Like, we're talking about absolutely insane power levels potentially. And I think it's going to be fun to perform these quest string style of requirements. The cons, however, there's a lot of steps that you need to have done. This likely won't be quick. Like I said, we will talk about how quickly you can get this stuff rolling, but it's not going to be something that you'll do over like 2 turns. If your ritual gets disrupted at any step, so it could be armor, it could be Cosmo, there's a big loss of investment there. So you've already put time into towards getting your Dormammu, and he's an important piece of the payoff. Now, it doesn't mean that you just automatically lose the game, because maybe you've got one of those other payoff cards that we talked about, but it's going to be more tricky. And to actually summon Dormammu via the final ritual, you need to destroy 2 cards. So you're replacing their power, kind of a bit like a Venom, if it's the final turn, or you're leaving Dormammu exposed if it's not the final turn. And then obviously you have an opportunity to put more power there if you need to. But those are kind of the way, like, you're either doing it on the final turn and you're replacing that power, so you're not like necessarily adding all power, you're taking away some to add some, and perhaps you're benefiting from those. I've worded this one so badly, but I'll read the sentence anyway. And perhaps you're benefiting from those 2 destroys to cheapen death, revive with elixir, etc. So what I'm trying to say is, if you're not doing it on the final turn, you may want, like, or I should say, God, I'm explaining this badly. Either you're bringing him down probably on turn 5, getting those 2 extra destroys, which might cheapen your death down, and it gives you something to do with elixir on the final turn. Or if you're not doing that, then you're doing it on the final turn, you're taking away that power, and maybe like your death might be more expensive, so you can't play it. Maybe you didn't destroy anything on the previous turn, so you can't elixir, yada yada yada. So things like that. It might just be some complicated lines. So let's talk about the counters for the card. We kind of mentioned a few already. Armor and Cosmo. Armor is just going to stop some cards from being destroyed, so that's going to potentially stop step 1 of the ritual, and of course step 3 of the ritual as well. Do remember that you can't just play the skill and it automatically works. If you don't have 2 cards to destroy, Dormammu won't be summoned. You need to feed those people into him. Cosmo obviously is going to stop the on-reveals of all of the skills. So yeah, that's bad. Luke Cage is going to stop power from being stolen. That is particularly significant because with the second step of the ritual, I believe if your opponent has got Luke Cage down and they can't have their power stolen, I don't believe step 2 of the ritual will be completed because you weren't able to steal power. I believe the wording on it is, let's just go back to it. Yes, Dormammu steals 1 power from each card here to continue. So you might need to do it on a location where you have at least 1 of your cards, because at least then you know you're gonna, yes, you'll steal from power from 1 of your cards, but at least it will guarantee the ritual. And then Shang-Chi, Dormammu's going to be absolutely huge, so Shang-Chi can kill him. The synergies for the card though, this is the exciting stuff. So Nicholas Scratch said earlier, this is 3 additional skills for Nicholas Scratch, so bringing him up to like a 1/5. If you're playing alongside Merlin and stuff, obviously there's an even higher opportunity for him. Or even Clear, next week's card Clear is very good with Nicholas Scratch, so we'll obviously discuss that in more detail next week. Nico Minoru, this is kind of the card I've been teasing all video. I haven't really been teasing all video, but I've certainly made reference to the interesting lines you can do. Nico Minoru is the only card in the game which can basically prepare you to destroy something on the first turn. I mean, you won't actually be able to destroy until the second turn, but if you get very lucky, you have Nico Minoru in your opening hand, and she is the destroyer card to draw 2. I mean, I don't want to go as far as to say basically an auto win, but you play that, you play a card on turn 2, it gets destroyed, and then you also play your ritual on turn 2. It immediately gets revived into Dormammu, merged into Dormammu, and you're off to the races. Then you can easily fit in the 1-cost skill to steal power on turn 3, and boom, you can really get the Dormammu rituals prepared well in advance. Well in advance. So I'm obviously stumbling over my words. Kid Omega! Oh gosh! Not Kid Omega. Yes, guys. Putting aside the controversy around the card, I don't have him. I won't be getting him until presumably in a month's time when he's in snap packs. I don't begrudge you if you do have him. I don't begrudge you if you are refusing to get him. I stand with you. But yeah, anyway, I've made a whole rant video. You can go and watch that if you want to. But anyway, Kid Omega, eventually when we have him, he's going to be very good with Dormammu because he gives you extra flexibility in regards to when you're going to destroy, especially if you want to destroy a card that you're more likely to want to destroy, or it might have bigger power or something, because of course Kid Omega slurps up the power. Huge flexibility with him. And especially being able to destroy after you've played him instead of having to have played cards first and then you have to destroy them, just adds the extra flexibility that will work really well in Dormammu decks. Firehair, I mentioned her at the beginning. I'm very, very excited to do kind of this style of revival deck where you're repeating on reveal effects. You're destroying stuff that, yeah, you probably want to keep around, but just you're reviving them or reduplicating their on reveal effect. Anyway, reduplicating, brilliant. Their on reveal effect. Anyway, Killmonger is great because he is adept at destroying lots of cards at once. And then we've got our two other key payoff cards for the revivals kind of archetype. Morgan Le Fay. I think she's going to be awesome with Dormammu. Really looking forward to playing her more because she can be incredibly impactful. And do remember, she's bringing those cards back. That's an absolutely incredible final turn play. If you can play your 3-cost skill to destroy cards and summon Dormammu alongside like 3 1-drops from Morgan Le Fay. Heck, if you've got Black Swan in that deck, you can do even more stuff. And then Death. Hopefully just a cheap, not surprise card, but a cheaper card that's got massive power to help you balance out all your huge power at the end of the game, because obviously you'd be playing her, well, you'd almost certainly be playing her at a different location to the Dormammu. Another shout out to our Discord and our alliances. So we have now got we have now got a Discord, guys. The link is in the description. And guys, the community is positively popping off now. It's a fantastic place. And on the Discord, you can also request to sign up to one of our alliances. If you're frustrated with not getting the full rewards every season, worry no more, guys. We've pretty much filled up 3 alliances. We are very close to setting up a 4th, our True Legends C alliance. Join like-minded people who just want to get all the rewards, and it's awesome. It's been awesome. Anyway, let's look at the decks. I've actually got a lot of decks for you this episode, so I'll try and whistle through them. The first one here is our budget deck. This is very much got some flavours of classic Destroy in here, an old-school Destroy. Cards like Bucky Barnes that we like to see. Cards that we just want to destroy as well. I have actually crucially got X23 in here, which I kind of know at the start of the video I kind of said to avoid. But actually, she's got some really important... She adds some really important flexibility for your future turns in regards to when you can afford to do things, because it can actually get a bit dicey being able to afford everything. We do also have cards like Squirrel Girl here, which generate lots of cards. In fact, our curve is just generally quite low here, because we do want to have enough stuff to destroy. And then our destroyers our destroyers are Carnage, Killmonger, and Venom. And of course later on the skill from Dormammu. But yeah, we should comfortably be able to destroy some of this stuff. Even if it's a martyr, that's really good. We bring stuff back. We have the other card that we want to destroy as well, Uncle Ben, just generating more stats onto the board even when you destroy him, which is crucial here. You can confound all that power with Venom. You've got the Null in here as one of your payoff cards, and the Death as well, because hopefully if we've got Squirrel Girl, we've really cheapened down the Death. It's cool stuff, guys. Stuff you want to destroy, and yeah, you're progressing your quests, and it's just cool. It's just cool. Right, next one. This is my sort of first attempt at the revival style deck. I called it Bring Me to Life, Wake Me Up Inside, Call my name and save me from the dark. It is a premium deck. It does have a lot of season number numeral 5 cards in here. But the cards that you want to play out early game and destroy, we have actually got the Nico. Hell, she can be destroyed herself. You can bin her off. You've got Silver Sable and Rocket Raccoon, because these are just powerful, potent effects that we would be more than happy to repeat repeat, with fire hair. Ways to destroy them includes Carnage and Killmonger and Venom and Nico. Again, we've got the X-23 in here because whilst I said to avoid her earlier, I do actually think she'll be important to give you extra flexibility. Especially with something like a Morgan Le Fay. Allowing you to play that extra 1-drop on the final turn could be really crucial because we are not playing the Black Swan in here. And then our path cards, again, we've got the Elixir in here. We have got the Morgan Le Fay, we've got the Death. Yeah, this is probably what I'm going to be trying first with Dormammu. Next up, one that I'm not going to be trying is Dormammu. This is a Mega Premium Plus Deluxe Ultra deck because it's got something like 7 or 8 Series 5 cards in. Anyway, guys, so it's got Hood, Silver Sable. We actually do have Nicholas Scratch in here. If we need to destroy Nicholas Scratch, we will. It's fine. He can just be fodder. We don't mind too much about that. We are feeding him with Merlin skills, Merlin incantations, and the Dormammu skills as well. We've got the Nico. We've got the Kid Omega in here. Other ways to destroy include Carnage and Venom. We've got Nimrod, who is awesome, and even, this is a particularly good one for the final turn. If one of those cards you're destroying is Nimrod, you're automatically adding power to the other locations, while strengthening that location with Dormammu. You can then even Venom on the final turn alongside that other skill, and you're just going absolutely bonkers. And again, because we have got some more expensive things like the Nimrod in here, yeah, pretty much that. Actually, so probably not the best point. But we got Luna Snow. The other interesting thing about Luna Snow is that she does actually provide you 2 cards, and that can be crucial if just things are going difficultly. That can give you a potential line to destroy 2 cards on the final turn. And finally, Dark Shield. Who am I kidding saying that I was going to try that other deck? We all know I'm going to be doing this one first. This is like probably a Kopi kind of shield style of deck. Agent 13, Maria Hill. We've also got the Shanna in here. We're going to be munching up all of those cards with Carnage and Venom. We do also have Hawkeye in here to generate more resource, so we've just got loads of stuff to do. Bishop, because our curve is so low and we're generating so many cheap cards. Similarly, Nicholas Scratch, again, probably going to benefit from those skills, hopefully from Merlin. Yada yada yada. You're then destroying them with either your destroy cards or eventually with the Dormammu Ritual. And then on the final turn, in fact, because you got Shanna in here, you could actually do a final turn Shanna. So you could destroy 2 cards at one location and then play the Shanna even just somewhere else, and it just fills in some additional card action over there where normally you wouldn't have room. So yeah, could be interesting. And then hopefully you've just generated some interesting stuff with the small sprinkling of shield cards in here. I guess Quinjet isn't giving you the biggest benefit because you're only generating a potentially discountable cards with Agent 13, and then the final card that you get, sorry, the final skill, the final ritual for Dormammu. So maybe this deck could fit in like a Coulson or somewhere. It honestly probably could. But yeah, I'm going to give that a go. I normally say at this point actually to remember to subscribe and like the video, but hopefully you all did that when you entered the contest at the start. Unless none of you, but unless you're like, oh, yeah, like I like the borders we've got, or I don't know what border. Sorry, I don't know why I'm doing that voice, but like you might be like, sorry, I'll do an impression of you, the viewer, but I'll do it like highbrow. I don't actually know which border I want to add to the game, so I can't really enter this competition. I can't think of what my favourite colour is, or a different shade of that colour, or an effect like a struggles to think of what, like a green plasma. This is all just getting pretty unhinged, so let's get it back on track. It's already a very long video, and I don't know if I mentioned at the start, because I think I restarted this video twice this time, which is pretty good for me. But the temperatures in the UK are soaring. And today, I think this weekend is gonna be the hottest. I think this is the hottest place on earth. No, it does. It feel very hot. It's very hot. Okay, so yeah, today probably gonna be hell. You can probably already see the shiny. Yeah, the shininess on my head is getting absolutely out of control. Dormammu is here still, so we've still got that. Don't think we haven't got that anymore. That's still there. And yes, very hot. Star ratings for Dormammu. I'm giving him 4 stars. I think he's very good. he's kind of a 414 at the minimum, guys. What do you want? I don't know. What do you want from me? But I think he's going to be very, very fun. I've given him 4.5 stars for fun. For the archetype, I think he's 4 stars because I truly do believe that he really is pulling together the Revivals archetype, whatever you want to call it, whatever that is. And from a competitive standpoint, I think he'll be good. I've only given him 3.5, but I do think he'll be used. Maybe I'm a little low on this. I do certainly think he'll be well used. I think just maybe there's a few counters that hold him back a little bit. But yeah, no, I do think people are going to use Dormammu, not least because he's extremely fun. He's a massive character. In fact, yeah, I'm kind of being stupid giving him 3.5 competitive because he literally won my vote for most wanted card. So of course people are going to be playing him. Unsurprisingly, he is a snap in my humble opinion. I think I'm going to get him with collector tokens just as an outright purchase. I gambled this week and got a snap pack and managed to avoid the ancient one, who I'm kind of like, I'll get her eventually is my stance on that. And I got Nightmare in one hit, so I think I'll be pushing my luck if I try it again. If I do happen to get the ancient one, and basically it feels unlikely that I'm going to avoid the ancient one for an additional other month, but I guess we'll see. Actually, I don't even know what my plans are for next season, to be honest. I don't know which Fantastic Four plans and cards I'm planning to get in. But before we end this video, guys, let's talk about our previous card in review. Nightmare, I gave him 2.5 stars. Now, there's a lot of missing context and missing conversation there. I did actually say in my Snapple Pass video that that's just what I envisioned him to be from a competitive standpoint. I think the challenges with him are too difficult. I think that you need to be able to correct the downside of his -1 power by either destroying it somehow or transforming it, those kinds of things, and I thought that was going to be too difficult. I think it's probably slightly easier to combat the drop in tempo than I said, so I'm upping my star rating to 3.5. However, I also want to caveat and say, in my eyes, he is like a 6-star card. He is incredibly fun, he's everything I wanted, he's as good as I expected, and I massively enjoy him. Yes, occasionally you do get the weaker sort of options, and I honestly straight up think I'm sitting on a pedestal here. I still think I think a lot of people are playing him the wrong way. I'm played against him a lot, and my opponents are playing out the Typhoid Marys and the Red Skulls, and I end up absolutely pumping them, to be honest, because I've got like my Martyrs and my Lizards and my smaller cards. To be fair, they do have Lizard as well, but I'm playing a lot of smaller cards and being able to get that value out of him, and also just transforming Nightmare or destroying Nightmare. So listen, guys, I'll be honest, I've been typically winning against the classic. I've been winning against the Nightmare decks that I've been playing against when I'm also playing Nightmare, because my deck is just more interesting, to be honest. Throwing that out there, and I'm not even saying that the Red Skull version is bad. I'm just saying mine's better. Nah, good, but yeah, to be fair, I think I was just overly under heavy-handed. I was light-handed with my 2.5. I think it's 3.5. I don't actually know how he's doing competitively. I haven't actually looked at his card stats. I probably should have, but in any case, I gave him 2.5. My actual rating is 3.5, but in my heart I'm saying 6 because he's brilliant and he's a load of fun. So if you like fun cards, definitely worth a try. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, everyone. Dormammu, I can't believe I didn't say this at all during the episode. Dormammu, I've come to bargain. I come flying in. Dormammu, I've come to bargain. Yeah, just that on repeat is going to be the next probably minute or so of this video. So thanks for watching. I'll see you then. I'll see you then. See you next time. Goodbye. Dormammu, I've come to bargain. 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 Dormammu, I've come to bargain.